that's what's going to happen.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Books and Betches, not to be confused with Books and
Dragons.
I'm Kristen. Yeah, good call. I'm Kristen, and with me I have
Dragon Erica.
That's Erica.
Maria.
And Maria. Okay. This is a book podcast. We swear, we spoil, we talk about sex, and we suck at it. We'll do all four of those things today.
Thank you.
This episode,
Thanks for joining.
that didn't like appeal to you. That I don't.
Yeah, you must be really excited.
Really hooked him with that one. This week we're talking Iron Flame, the second book, the companion book to Fourth Wing.
By Rebecca Yarros.
Not a companion book, but yes.
Whatever. The second book.
Second book.
What's the series called?
The Empyrean.
The Empyrean series, yeah.
Oh, really?
The Empyrean, yep.
Oh, I didn't even know that, actually,
Yep.
now that I think about it.
Empyrean spelled Empyrean.
So if you'll remember, we did
So
a
fucking
Fourth Wing
stupid.
episode. We all enjoyed
Loved
the book.
Fourth Wing.
Yes, we all liked
Everyone
Fourth Wing.
loved Fourth Wing.
And
That don't hit you good, huh?
so Iron Flame, the second book, going into this, everybody was obviously very, very hyped.
Yeah.
We will do the 60 second. Is that going to be
Who's
you
doing
again?
it?
Or you?
Oh, I guess it has to be.
Yeah.
I did Crescent City.
Couple things I want to say at the top here.
I hate this fucking book.
Not that. We are going to get details wrong, as you so graciously point out on every YouTube comment.
Not every.
You're right.
Couple.
Most of them.
Not most of them either.
We're going to get a lot of stuff wrong with Iron Flame. We're going to miss a lot of details.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even read this book. I tried.
Par for the course.
No, fuck off. I tried reading this book I tried listening to this book. Maybe that's where I went wrong. 6 different times. I don't know what happened. I don't care about this anymore.
I will say this. I started this book. I think I started this in October.
Okay.
Did not finish it
Yep.
till early Jan.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I just gave up because I'm not retaining anything. So what's
Yeah.
the point of listening to something I'm not going to know anything about anyway?
Yeah.
There's too many
It'll
things.
be a real treat for the 30-second.
Yeah,
Or
the
sorry,
60
the 60
second. There's just so many
The
things
30
that
second.
to me don't make any sense at all.
Because
And
they
we'll
don't
talk.
make sense.
Oh, okay, cool. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Fourth Wing. I thought it was fun. And when I was done, dude. I didn't want more of the story, if I'm being honest with you. I was like, okay, I'm good. Like,
I think I'm starting to become a person that, wants one-offs.
same. Literally same.
I said that a couple months ago. I
Yeah.
don't want series anymore. Like,
Same. I can't be
I
invested.
read
break.
an aggressive amount of character series, and they're so fulfilling because a lot of the time the character series is like there's a bigger arc.
Yeah.
And each character you get more of that arc, but like you could stop at any time and be perfectly fine.
Yep.
True. Yeah.
Like there's like you don't need to keep reading it.
It's too much time. It's time consuming, and I can't be invested in it because I have so much shit going on at home. Like, I gotta worry about fucking working and doing all this stuff. And when I sit down at the end of the day, I'm like, I can't get back into the story that I've already finished in this first book. But all right, let's do. So Erica's gonna do the 60 seconds. So again, just really keep in mind that a lot of stuff won't be accurate, and I don't know what to tell you. Other than that.
Brace yourself for terrible
Well, I mean,
bio
whatever.
summary.
If you're new to this podcast, we do this thing where we attempt to explain an entire plot summary of a book in 60 seconds or less. This week, Erica's going to do Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. Erica, you ready?
Sure.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Violet is our main female character, and Zayden's her shitty boyfriend that she apparently still is stringing along. And he graduated. They're still in war college. And they are separated because they're in the bad boys club. And he gets flown out to another post. Their dragons are mated. No idea what that even is relevant to the story anymore. He comes to see her every couple days. She finds out that the secretive man that
30
she
seconds.
fell in love with is still keeping secrets. There's a bunch of shit that's happening with the like internal politics of the groups that are at war with each other, which none of it actually fucking makes any sense. And they find out a bunch of stuff
15
isn't
seconds.
true. Her mom was like seemingly a bad guy, but kind of isn't a bad guy. And pretty much everything that they know to be true is actually not true. Is
5,
actually
4,
not true. Everything's a lie.
2,
Everything's a lie.
1. Okay, I didn't read the book. How was that, Maria?
For those who can't see me. I've had my jaw slacked for the whole thing.
Unhinged. Unhinged.
It's good. It was good.
It was good. Yeah, it was good.
So did any of that check out or what?
I mean, certain things, yeah, for sure. She hit some points.
None of it. Everything that happened isn't true.
She hit some point.
She hit some point. That's, I think, the most nail on the head thing.
Like
I just don't
everything
get it.
Everything we were
that
told
trope,
in book one ain't true.
No.
like the trope of like, oh, everything that you were raised knowing is actually the opposite. The bad guys are the good guys, and the good guys are the bad guys.
None of it makes sense. The bad guys are the Ren things,
I don't know.
right?
I actually
Okay,
don't know.
let's
I don't
go off
know.
of book one theory at the end of book one.
Yep.
The Ren are bad, and the open of Iron Flame. They're bad.
Are they Ren?
Whatever they're called.
Wyvern or the
Wyvern. Whatever, the bad
Aren't the
things.
Wyvern
Or they're the animals.
the animals?
The dark wielder things are the bad people.
Either way,
though.
there's the bad guys, and it's not who we thought it was in the first book, where we thought they were at war with the other riders.
Griffins.
Venom. Griffins are the other things that they're
They're
good
good.
guys.
So,
But we didn't think they were good guys.
We didn't
We
think
didn't
so.
think they
but here's what I
existed.
don't
Let
understand.
her finish.
Here's what I don't understand.
Nothing's true.
If this mythical thing is bad
Yep.
for everybody
Yep.
because it wants to kill everyone,
Yep.
why is it that the rebellions need to keep that a secret? And why do the
I
rebellions
don't
exist?
know.
Why is
I don't
everybody not
know.
coming together to fight this thing that wants to kill everybody?
Because the book would end.
But it doesn't make sense though, because that's what sets up the entire. That's the plot.
None of it makes sense.
Okay,
Not
I didn't
one
know if-
fucking thing makes sense.
I didn't know if
about
it was
this
just
book.
my pea brain that couldn't understand, or if it was.
I bet you someone's already screaming like, no,
Oh,
it's
for sure,
this!
for sure. Can you explain it to me, please? Because I don't understand.
You're asking the wrong person.
This is
Because
our
it took me
job.
4
Our job
fucking
is to
months.
tell
This is
this.
not my job. This is not my job. My job is
But
very
like
different.
no, the
You're right,
dragons.
you're right.
Okay,
Fuck
so
it.
like let's start like piecemeal, right? Like
Okay.
what? My first question has always been, and I was like, I hope that I'll find this out in book 2. I
did not.
Why are the dragons and people linked together?
They're siphons. Someone told me on the Discord.
What does that mean?
No.
So that's what I was told.
Dragons are fine by themselves.
No, they're siphons with the humans. Like, it just makes them more powerful. I don't know.
Dragons are fine by themselves.
I think Heidi
Can we
mentioned
call
it.
somebody
no,
who cares about this book?
No.
I'm gonna call the Discord.
They said it. They said it in the book, Maria. And you know what the reason was?
Yeah.
Humans have opposable thumbs. That was the reason listed.
That was the reason.
That
That's
was the
not-
reason listed.
that can't be
I
real.
needed Cardi to be
fucking
like, what was
shit-
the reason?
I shit you not. That was the
No.
reason that was said.
Come on.
It
Hold on.
was.
I gotta find
100%. I remember
Can you
reading it.
can you put in our Discord? Would somebody take a phone call right now to explain to us? No, genuinely.
Genuinely?
Yeah.
You do it.
Say, would anybody take a phone call right now to explain to us the plot
In the
of
fantasy
Iron
one?
Flame?
Because
Because
ready to do a 60-second.
well, I don't get it, dude. It makes no fucking
Okay,
sense.
I can try.
Okay,
Ready?
please.
So coming into book 1,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
We find out we are at War College. There have been attacks. There's a 300-year war or whatever against people who ride the griffins, I think, on the outside.
Yes.
It's like a whole thing against us.
Where do the
right?
rebellions fall into that?
They were rebelling against the main people. I keep wanting to say the Asteria. That's Crescent City. But they fell. That was Ryerson. That's Zayden's past.
Yeah, they
Zayden's
have
dad.
the tattoos or whatever. Right.
So Zayden took on himself the sins of all, and he's
Sure.
like in charge of all the rebels, and they all have little things on their tattoos on their neck that tells like that's the rebel, that's a bad kid.
that doesn't make
um,
sense anymore.
I think it's just a thing of like
Okay, it
an
is what it
oppressive
is.
government.
Sure.
It's just what it is.
Okay.
So knowledge is power, obviously. So to keep everyone thinking that they're safe, we are the ones in charge of help. We keep you safe, y'all. People are trying to come in through the wards, through the barriers, and we keep you safe.
Okay.
And that's why
Okay.
we have dragon riders to go out there and fight the good fight.
Okay, I'm tracking.
So we find out through a lot of foreshadowing in book 1 that there are other creatures out there that no one else knows about. They were fairy tale creatures, which are the
Yes.
Venom and the Wyvern.
When we say no one else knows about, does that mean the government?
Common people. The government knows,
So what are they?
but
why?
they hide it.
But why?
Their government. I don't know. That's just how
Because
they are.
those bad things are still a threat to them as well. Is what I don't get.
Sure.
Are the griffins?
But the Griffins are
Are the
fighting
riders.
alongside.
The griffins are the
fight.
people, right?
Yes.
No, the Griffins are the actual like other.
They're the other
animals?
writers.
What are the
They're
wyverns?
Griffin riders.
Yeah.
Griffin riders.
Oh.
Wyvern or what the Venom ride.
Oh. okay.
yeah.
I got
Okay?
it. I got it.
When I think of a griffin, I think of the thing from Prison of Azkaban.
Yes.
That's what a griffin is in my head.
What the fuck is that? Fluffy.
Fluff-
Not fluffy.
Buckbeak.
Buckbeak. Thank you.
So everyone always thought that the griffins were our enemies, but turns out
What are we called? Or not we,
The
dragon
dragons.
riders.
Dragon riders.
yeah, we have dragons. Well,
Okay.
they have
The
dragons.
dragon people?
They have griffins.
Yes.
Griffins were our enemies the entire time.
Okay.
But it was under false pretenses.
But the dragons knew that the griffins were fine too then,
The
right?
dragons are always keeping secrets, and that's one thing that they just don't tell.
Okay.
Their laws are their own,
Okay.
and they decide what they want to tell you when they want to tell you,
Sure.
because it's just Empyrean things.
Okay.
Whatever.
So one of my biggest issues with this whole series is that I feel like there's like not enough discussion about the dragons.
Sure.
And the question that remains within my heart is, does Rebecca Yarros have a plan that like she's just building the suspense of the lore of the dragons, or is she lazy and doesn't actually have one and she's just hiding behind the veil of they're just a secretive species?
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't know.
And the fact that I can't tell makes me not like that.
I have a really hard time putting myself in this world because it just doesn't make sense. Because, okay, her brother's still alive. He is now
Brennan.
working with the rebels, and the rebels know about the
Venom.
Griffiths are cool. They know
Yep,
that.
they are working alongside them.
So they're working together to fight the Venom.
The Venom and the Wyvern. Yep.
Why in the beginning of book 2 and beginning of Iron Flame, they're like, you got to go back to school.
Because she's
There's-
still in school.
But there's like a war happening.
No one knows yet.
Exactly. Wouldn't you be like, this is happening, this is
So-
bad, let's get that information
So
out to
she
everybody.
comes back.
Yeah, and
right
hides
after Liam dies. All of this, she knows that what she knows is it's like the Asterian in Crescent City. Like, it's information that could destroy a world, basically.
But it could save it.
Sure.
How
but
could it
the people
destroy
in
it?
power
Yeah.
don't want to. I don't know. They have their ulterior motives that they have to have.
What are those ulterior motives?
I don't know.
That's what I'm-
Kristen, I'm not one of them.
That's what I'm wondering though. Was it explained in this book?
I don't think so.
Really?
I think
or did we miss
the
it?
entire book was like
I'm trying to call this person.
Wait. Oh, there
Oh,
she is.
we got it. Heidi?
Hey.
Hello?
Welcome to the pod.
Okay. Here's the
We'll
deal.
put it near their microphone.
We're recording Books and Betches right now, so you're on the podcast. And thank you for taking our call. Here's the problem that we're facing. So we're talking about Iron Flame, and none of us understand the overall plot or reason behind
anything.
for anything. So like, okay, here's where we were talking about the end of book 1. We find out that the overall bad guy obviously isn't the Griffins and those riders, right? They're working together to fight against the Ven, whatever you
The
want to call
Venom
it.
and the Wyvern.
The Ven and whatever. So they need to keep it a secret, right? And they're in this little rebel thing. Why wouldn't they just tell everybody? Because those people are really bad and they're going to kill everybody. So wouldn't we all be on the same page that we all need to fight against these things?
You're asking why they're not teaming up with the Griffins?
With the government.
With the government, with everybody at their school. Like, they're keeping everything a secret. Why?
Well, they're running the propaganda that it's the Griffin riders and everything, right? Who are trying to attack and steal all the resources.
Yeah, but what is the reason? Like, what's their motive?
I don't know if we know yet.
Do we not know?
Well, so Navarre has their own wards, right? And they're keeping out everybody else. Like, they're not taking in people because one, the Griffin Flyers know that Venom are real because they're the ones out there fighting them. And
Right.
Navarre does not want their people to know that. So they're destroying all the history. They're keeping everything out of their wards.
I guess I don't understand why they don't want everybody to know that. Like, what is the value in not telling people that there's a bigger bad that we all need to fight together?
I mean, that's a very valid question. I think there's a lot not talked about yet because, there are the ward stones and then there's the dragons and the powers that the dragons give you. Everyone just wants power. That's the number one reason to do anything like that.
Right.
But as far as why they're not telling people that Venom are real, I'm assuming so that people don't go and join them and pull power from the earth and become more powerful
what I was
than the
gonna say.
dragon riders.
Okay.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say.
See that? I
okay.
think that's the key right
I was
there.
gonna say that, but we waited for the call.
Okay.
Okay. So then Erica has a question about the dragons. Go ahead, Erica.
What dragons?
About you don't understand the reason for people.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God
well,
for
no,
Heidi.
I mean this is like a general. I don't know. Nobody has this answer except
Maybe
Rebecca.
they do.
But
Maybe they do.
Except
what
Rebecca.
doing is the writing lazy in the sense that like there's just all this like mystery behind the dragon lore, or are we being purposely withheld from like the background of the dragons? What do you think?
I think she has 3 more books to go, so obviously she can't give us all the info in the first 2.
That's fair.
But I mean, there's a reason, which we don't know, why the dragons are keeping their secrets from their own writers and from their own. Because there has to be like a whole dragon society, right? Like there's a whole lot about dragons we don't
Like
know about.
underbelly of dragon society.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously with the stuff we learned about Andarna, it's even crazier. Like they have a lot more power and a lot more knowledge
True.
than
So-
any of the readers know. Yeah.
My biggest problem was the with the dragons is like I was like, why do they want writers? Why does that matter? And the reason listed in the book was opposable thumbs. Do you remember that?
Yes, the opposable thumbs. They need the dragon. The dragons need the humans to work the wards. Dragons give them the power to make the wards themselves and protect their breeding grounds.
That's what we needed.
That's what we needed.
Heidi, you just have to come sit on this podcast.
Heidi, oh my God, we need a
I will
fact
get there
checker.
in no time. Just let me know. I will.
Thank you, Heidi.
But they did say opposable thumbs. That was a reason listed.
They did say it.
Okay,
They
Heidi,
did.
before we let you go, just very quickly, what did you rate this book? And overall, did you enjoy Iron Flame?
I gave this book a 5. I freaking loved it.
Whoa.
I know Erica was in the Discord thread about it, but I loved it. I think I liked it more because I reread Iron Flame. I mean, I reread Fourth Wing the day before Iron Flame came out.
Smart.
Oh, so you were going
So
to.
I
okay.
Yeah.
had everything right in front of me. I was ready to go, and it picks up right where it left off. So I was in it. I'm a mood reader. I was in the mood. I was ready.
See, I think
It
I wasn't in the
was-
mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Well, Heidi, I apologize now. This is gonna be
Not the episode for you.
Not for
Yeah.
you. You might want to skip it.
I mean, you can yourself,
I
but.
already assumed.
But we love you.
Yeah, thank you, Heidi.
But
Appreciate
you
you.
gave us a lot of insight into what we needed to know.
Maybe
podcast for us.
maybe people will hate us a little less. Maybe
Now that we
not.
know the reasons.
Thank
Thanks,
Thank you, Heidi.
Bye, Heidi.
Bye.
Okay, perfect.
Thank God for Heidi, man.
Yeah, that was amazing. Heidi's in our Discord, in case people are like, who's Heidi? Yeah, we have a Discord. If you want to join the fam, you can find our Discord in our link tree.
A lot of
In
our
our-
Yeah.
besties are on the Discord.
Okay, Fourth Wing. As you can
Oh,
tell,
wait, let's go back into it.
a few people really enjoyed it, and that's great. Love that for them.
was
I
not one of them.
didn't read it, so I guess I'm out on that discussion. But
Yeah, like I said, it took me months to read it.
I also was not in the mood to read it, I don't think, and that
Me
might have
neither.
impacted my
Yep.
like. But I think Rebecca's lost in the sauce, and I've talked about this quite a few times, but I want to talk about this very like succinctly on a place where this like deserves to live.
okay.
And I think that she bit off more than she can chew. I think this story is too complicated for her. And in her, like, she's doing something she's never done before.
It's her first fantasy.
She has written a ton of romance books. They are fantastic. She does found family fantastically. There are elements in this book that are great. That's why people love this book.
Yeah.
There is a lot good about this series. What is not giving is like the execution of this plot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I personally think, right? Like,
Okay.
and I don't think it's the writing. I don't think it's the, like, it's just not executing the way that it needs to, and it's messy and it's sloppy. And the reason is, and I know this because I tried to write a fantasy, and I'm seeing the mistakes Rebecca's making with my own writing.
Interesting.
Where it's like, you are getting too lost and like doing side quests and making things interesting, and like, And when it comes to like the romantasy, especially, which Sarah J. Maas does very, very well, is like you have all this shit going on about the plot, this fantasy plot. You're building a whole new world and a whole like, you know, set of rules and like all this lore, and your romance needs to be able to stand within that, right?
Yep.
So every time that your main two characters interact, it's not often. It's not as often as you think.
No.
Because you have all this exposition going on and side conversations to build your plot and all the yada, yada, yada. So these interactions between the two main love interests, all of those matter every single time. And what we saw in Iron Flame was a lot of interactions that were either insufferable, annoying, or redundant. And none of them moved their romance along. They let it just fester and circle, like it just circled each other. It didn't move them in a direction that made any fucking sense whatsoever.
Right.
When I read Xaden and Violet's like scenes, I didn't want to read them.
Nope.
Ooh, really?
I didn't want to read them because
the
they
whole
were
book.
Really?
It wasn't even the fighting. The shit that they were saying to each other like didn't make sense. It's like, what do you mean, Violet? Of course he's keeping secrets. Did you think he fucking wasn't? When did you fall in love, by the way? I didn't realize you guys did. What do you mean?
I think I told you guys this
You guys had sex a couple times. That
in
wasn't
the group chat.
Yeah.
This was giving me Chuck and Blair season 2 Gossip Girl.
Yeah,
never seen
The
Gossip Girl.
on repeat.
3 words, 8 letters. Say them when I'm yours. Say
on
I love
repeat.
you.
On repeat.
Over and over and over and
Oh,
over
I
and
don't
over
like
and
that.
over and
Yeah.
over.
If you just replayed season 3 over and over.
Yes.
Because it was the
Interesting.
same fucking, they have the same, there could have been 5 different ways you could have told this, like them going into and from each other or whatever, like that whole like plot line of them like doing that. There could have been so many other unique ways to like move the story along than them constantly having the same fight, the same argument, the same feelings, the same everything.
Yeah.
And now we're just like, I'm bored as a reader. I'm not invested in this relationship. Xaden seems like a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
He's giving,
But doesn't Dane make a comeback?
Dane gets forgiven like it's nothing.
But he does like something
not like
good.
it's nothing, but
Doesn't he like
he
helps
saves
her?
he helps save Violet. We missed the entire plot here.
Yeah,
We
can
didn't
you
even go
walk
through
me
it.
through the
But
plot a
this-
little bit?
it's so
Just a little
matters.
bit. A little
So
bit.
stupid.
Nothing like crazy details.
Okay, so we come back from what happened at Resson,
Yep,
right? Liam
yep.
dies, yada yada. They can't tell what happened to those, so they're keeping it under wraps. We have our own little Umbridge, Dolores Umbridge,
Okay.
who comes in. I can't remember his name right now. It starts with a V,
why
but
is
he
it
comes
so
in-
similar to fucking
right? Because what you said it for book 1, I see a lot more in book 2. The
Ooh,
whole
pulling
connecting
from
things.
different
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he comes in as the new sort of like, I don't know, some kind of position of power, and he doesn't believe Violet and Xaden. At every turn, he's like trying to thwart them. Every time that Violet has to go to the front to go see Xaden because their dragons are mated and they can't be far apart from each other for 2 weeks at a time or whatever. Every time she goes over there, she's getting searched by this guy. It's like, stop right there, open your backpack,
Yeah.
because he thinks that, you know, because he's a rebel kid, he's not to be trusted, yada yada. So we spent a lot of that book with that, of them going back and forth between
Okay.
the front. Xaden still has secrets. Violet the entire time is just like, well, you didn't tell me everything, and he's like, well, you're not asking.
We're still fighting about that.
Yes.
I think I gave them
I
praise
hate-
for forgiving right away in the first book, and now
Yeah.
it's still going.
She wasn't
you're
forgive-
not
she-
asking the right questions is like was one of the most annoying things that
yeah.
consistently happened throughout the entire book.
Yeah, he was like, just ask me. And she was like, ask what, dude? Like,
Oh,
what am I
gee.
asking?
Yeah. Okay.
How do I
So-
know what I don't know?
Uh-huh. He's like, how do I know that you don't know what I don't know? I don't know.
Oh my God. What?
So there's a lot of those things.
It's gaslighting. That's
Yeah.
gaslighting.
It's gaslit a little bit.
Okay.
So they have a lot. That's a lot of back and forth of them fighting all the time. In the middle, we're also doing school. We're still going to war college,
Which is wild when there's a
it's-
whole
now
war
it's
happening.
year 2, so now they're watching the new first years coming in, and she's like, I don't want to learn their names because if I learn their names and they die, like I can't. I've already gone through so much having Liam dying and all my friends dying. Yada yada.
Okay.
So we're seeing the first years. Jack Barlow comes back.
I heard.
He gets
And
resurrected.
he saves her.
He helps her in some capacity at one
I
point.
think he saves her life.
When she's being attacked by people sent by Umbridge. I'm gonna call him Umbridge the entire time. I'm so sorry because I
Yeah.
just don't know his name right now.
He comes dies, comes back as a Venom or something?
No, he's not a Venom.
He is Venom.
No, he becomes
No, I
a Venom.
thought. Oh,
He's
I thought
Venom.
they were
He-
trying
no,
to
no, no.
reveal
At the end.
At the end, he
Oh.
becomes a Venom, goes through the fucking wards, no problem.
Yeah.
So
thought Zayden
don't know what the
becomes
fucking
Venom.
wards
He does
actually
too.
mean.
Okay.
I'm getting
Got
it.
it,
She
got
just she
Sorry.
likes.
No, but I'm
the
saying
book
Yeah.
first.
I'm saying I don't understand the fucking ward. The wards make no sense to me.
Okay.
The wards fell
Yeah, but
because
no,
the ward stone broke at
they
the
got it
war
back up.
college. At the end, thanks to what's her face dying, but I think he was already in by then.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's in.
So
Jackson.
okay, so Jack was being
Jack is so fucking stupid. He has just a hard on for being mean.
Yeah.
There's no
But
fucking.
he saves her.
There's no.
I'm not even there yet. Let me tell you how he comes back.
Yeah, tell me
He's
how
so
he comes
fucking
back.
his character's so fucking stupid, and it's so irrelevant to the plot.
She has been saying that since book 1. To be fair, at least she's
He's
consistent.
the stupidest fucking character in all series ever.
She made this point in the first
I'm
book.
not
He
disagreeing
has
with
no
you. Fucking direction.
I'm not disagreeing.
Sometimes
with
you gotta
you.
let her
That's
pop
great.
off.
No,
You
you
just gotta let her pop off.
You were talking about what's his like what were you saying, the direction, not the direction.
Reason? What's
His
the reason?
What's
Yeah.
the reason?
What's
Like,
the
what's
reason?
his reason? What's his driving force to do fucking anything? He's just like, I'm gonna fuck with this girl.
Okay, all right. I'm going through the plot. I'm going through the plot. Please.
Go
So
on.
he's been getting mended
Yes.
by
I did
the guy
hear
who
that.
always mends Violet growing up. He's like
Okay.
her healer dude, right?
Who's like
Stop it.
again?
So
Who is this guy?
he comes back, and we're like, why the fuck is this kid back? It's fucking weird. The whole book, I'm like, why is he back? And everyone's just letting him stay.
Yep.
Fine.
Yep.
Okay. Pushing forward. Then Violet gets kidnapped by that dude, the bad Umbridge dude.
What is this guy's
Tortures her
reason?
for like a asshole also.
Okay.
Tortures her for like a week.
How is that okay?
He did it under a good guy no one knew.
But again, like how
a war
did
college.
these things happen?
So it's a
I
fantasy
agree.
book. It's just Rebecca wrote it, and that's how it is.
It was
So
Sarah.
nothing else Sarah.
Makes sense.
They both owe me an apology.
A public apology.
So, he like kidnaps her to get information out of her. She's being tortured. They've gone through a torture thing before already. It's part of their class.
Okay.
Part of their class is to learn to get tortured and not tell secrets.
Okay.
Right?
That's a real training.
Sure, but tell me why a girl who's used poison in all of book 1 uses or gets poisoned several times over in book 2 to get her powers taken from her.
Weird. Yeah.
Sounds like a dumb thing, right?
Yeah.
That happened.
Okay.
Karma.
So I don't think it's karma. I think it's stupidity. So yeah, she gets kidnapped, and our Umbridge dude is like just like really brutally torturing her for several days.
They go through seer training.
I don't know what
Yep.
it means. Zayden comes in, finds out that his girl's been locked in a dungeon. He comes in, he's attacking the whole college at this point.
Okay.
And comes in Dane too. The guy Umbridge is like, go in her mind and get the secrets out. And Dane's finally touches Violet and sees what happened in
Everything,
Ressin.
right? Yeah.
And that's where he sort of turns and goes like, no, I'm not going to do this. Zayden comes
See,
in. it's
everybody
like,
would turn if she would just tell everybody.
Zayden comes in. He's like, that's my girl. Don't you fucking touch her anymore. And they kill. Violet does the final blow on Umbridge, which was cool. I like that
I
scene.
love that we're calling him Umbridge.
I can't. It's Vessin or something like that.
Okay. So we kill this guy.
So she kills him. She's like, he's done. He's dead. They are running away from the college now because Zayden basically attacked.
Why
college.
they ever went back to the college in the first place is
Because they
beyond
have
me.
to. They're part of the college.
You
It's
don't
a thing.
have to.
Okay. Anyway,
There's
So,
more important things
Alice,
happening than
can
school.
you drop out?
so here's what happens.
There's way more important.
Here's
things.
what happens. They get there. At this point, Violet is telling people what's happening now. She's like, you've all been lied to.
She just did that at the beginning. Sorry, go on. It just pisses me off.
You've all been lied to. This is what's really happening. We gotta go protect people who are being left to die outside of the wards. Like
Half the people
Violet
go.
the entire time realizes
Yeah.
that the wards are what matters. So she's trying to find information about the first 6, the first people who created the wards, and how
How to reinstate the wards.
reinstate the wards so she can protect people. Because
She
Navarre
has a guess.
has them, but they're all dropping everywhere else.
She has a guess. She's fucking incorrect about it. Then she gets all fucking butthurt about it. 'Cause
She
she's
hates
like,
being wrong.
I'm really smart, and this is really
I'm a book
upsetting.
person.
that
I
can't,
didn't read the
yeah,
book right.
Yeah, whatever.
So
Somehow
several
they-
people in the college decide. She's like, either you stay and do what they tell you, these liars, or you come with us and we go to Ryerson House and basically like the rebellion's back on.
Sure.
So people stay, people go. They all head over to to Ryerson House where Zayden's family is from. It's all building. At that time too, the Griffin riders are coming in. They're like, you guys got to work together, and like now you have to learn how to be not only just dragon riders but Griffin riders working together.
And like Griffin's ex-girlfriend's there. It's so fucking
Zayden's
or
ex-girlfriend.
Cat. Sorry, Zayden's ex-girlfriend is such a
Yes,
fucking
yes.
the whole like I want him back.
And she has a
thing
power
was
to
weird.
do your emotions, right?
She can heighten your emotions.
See,
yeah,
look, I know everything.
basically,
Not really.
you know the bare bones.
Yeah, I know the bare bones.
So she has a whole thing. People die. Normal. And then it comes towards the end where they realize that the Venom are attacking certain places, and the leader of the War College guy comes over to them and says, "Hey, come help us because we know what's gonna happen over here."
Sure.
And Brennan and them are like, "Nope. We tried to tell you before. You didn't want us to help the right way. We're not gonna let you do this just for Navarre."
Okay.
So at that point, it's I think Violet realizes that no, it's not where they think they're being led. They're actually going to attack the War College.
Okay.
The Venom and the Wyvern are going to the War College. This entire time, one of the Venom dudes, the Sage, has been coming in her dreams a lot, and she's like dreaming about this evil guy who's like, I'm gonna get you and your powers, you little lightning wielder. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just like
so they
Pulling
come,
from
attack
toys,
the
huh?
War College. It's a big ass battle. They're trying to get these wards up. They need the ward stones. Violet realizes you need the most powerful dragons to come in, blow the fire on, and that's how the wards get back together. And they have to imbue the stone.
how
But
did
it's
the dragons
actually-
not fucking know this?
But it's actually 7.
So it's actually 7.
And add whatever.
Like
and
Tyrn
Darna
couldn't
is
have been
the
like,
seven.
"Hey, yo, I actually know."
yeah,
the-
that is a good point, actually. Of
the
all
whole
of
time
this.
Darna is an adolescent. So because of what happened in Reston, she had a growth spurt and wasn't growing correctly.
and she's too.
And her
tired.
color is very different. Every
She's
time
got,
we
like,
talk, we
black
see her.
scales,
She
yeah.
has black scales, but she
Again, there's a lot of
she's
secrecy
iridescent.
around what's going on with the dragons.
and where she is and the whatever.
I personally find it to be lazy writing, but go on.
okay.
Heidi's right. There's 3 more books. Go on.
Heidi did say 3 more books. So then we find out Andorna is the 7th type of dragon.
Sure.
She's new. She's her own. She's going to run her own den. She's been very sassy the whole book. And so she comes in. They help, but the ward stones still have to be very imbued with power.
You know what she's giving? She's giving teenage Groot.
Yeah.
Groot. Yeah.
teenage.
I could see that.
So Violet's mother comes in and she puts all of her power, because Violet tried to put her power into the stone, but she's about to die.
Yeah.
So Violet's mom comes in.
Sacrifice.
She puts it in, sacrifices
She's going to
herself.
sacrifice herself.
There must be another way.
So then she dies, right?
So she
She's
dies.
going to sacrifice
I cried with that chapter. It
Yeah,
was-
that
it-
would've
I
fucked me
cried.
It
I
hit me,
cried.
it hit
I
me.
cried.
That would have
Mother
fucked me up.
dies.
Typical
Wards are
trope.
put up.
Typical fucking trope in fantasy.
But
Gotta
at the
be kidding
same
me.
time, Xaden was fighting the Sage far off somewhere else.
Okay.
We find out that he almost got killed, and the Venom, the Sage guys be like, do what you gotta do. If you want
Yeah.
to survive, you want to save Violet, you do what you gotta
He's
do.
turns
Take
into
the
a
power
Venom.
from the earth, which is what turns you Venom, turns you bad. So end of the book comes, Xaden basically reveals, like, you're not gonna love me anymore, like, I'm gonna see you're gonna blah. Also, we find out he has a second siphon, which means he can read your mind.
I feel like my bigger concern would be that I'm Venom, not that my girlfriend's not gonna like me anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
then
what does that even
that's
mean?
just me,
Now,
though.
I guess we don't know yet.
So yeah, basically
He doesn't
is
know
now
yet either.
Venom.
Yeah.
But I think I would be concerned about, like, fuck, I'm a Venom.
Yeah.
But
True.
what happens though? We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So we don't know.
So at the end of the book is him. He's Venom. It's a cliffhanger thing.
Okay.
Does
Does he seem normal though?
At
Like,
the beginning, yeah.
Seems it, yeah.
I don't know.
okay.
He goes to Jack Barlow at the end, and he's just like, "Sup, bro?" Because Jack is now put in like a cell. And he's like, where's the cure? He's like, there is no cure, buddy. You're one of us.
There's
And then it just
definitely a
ends.
fucking cure.
If I miss things, if it's out of order, don't tell me.
See,
It's
this
fine.
sounds like a zombie thing now.
It does feel kind of zombie-ish, like
But it's
30 Days
like,
of Night kind of thing.
If he ends up being a good guy, then everything we know is wrong.
So my question, I think that I didn't ask it correctly in the Discord, but I felt like I was thrown a lot of information for this book without the answers for it.
yeah.
So it was a very much like, I'm gonna throw it at you. You better retain it somehow, but there's no
Right.
reasons why you're gonna retain it.
Right.
And
Yeah,
so
it was a
I'm
lot
like,
of
why?
telling.
Why is the Venom? What is their power then? What's the point?
Yeah.
I still we're
they
we're
take
in
it
book
from the
2, and I
ground.
still don't really understand like who the bad guys, like
That's
what
the
the reason
problem.
behind the bad guys
Right.
are.
And why is it that they take power from the why is taking power from the earth or
Like,
the
that's
ground?
not enough.
Why
for
is it a
me.
bad thing?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Because if she can take her power from the skies, what's the difference?
Also, just wanting power isn't enough for me. There needs to be more reason.
Substance to
Yeah. I don't know.
Land, I guess they want to take over everything.
There's a theory.
That would make sense. That would be more.
There's a theory that Tiern's old rider is the head Venom.
Okay.
Like whatever the headmaster Venom dude is. And
of the sage?
above him.
Above the sage.
Above the sage.
Okay.
And that Brandon, which is Violet's brother, was in love with him. And
I said this in the beginning that kid was gay, and somebody timestamped me saying in our YouTube video, I thought Brandon was gay and maybe was into like Xaden or something. I just like threw out a name, and they timestamped it and wrote couldn't have been more wrong. And I want to say that I might be right. That's all.
So I like that theory.
I think that
I fucking hate this series though. Okay. Anyways,
Now we can just
now I want to stand on my soapbox
right,
here.
go ahead,
So there's
Erica.
a couple of things that happen in this book that when you talk about it online in comment sections, right? People like for instance, all of the mentions of like February and like those types of things. So people will go into the comment sections and be like, well, in an interview, she said, blah, 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 like that this is supposed to be more approachable fantasy and blah, 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 and this and this and this. And it's like, to some degree, I think that books should exist in a vacuum.
Yeah.
That like, I shouldn't have to pay attention to a random fucking author's interview
at all.
in order to know what's happening in this book or understand or not have questions answered from the book.
They should come from the book.
Yeah.
Should whatever the fucking author says online or wherever or whatever people
You
say
shouldn't
online,
even have to know anything about the author.
I take it completely separate.
I didn't know shit back when before social media. Like I would read a book and I wouldn't even consider that somebody wrote it. I'm just reading a story. And I'm in a story.
So she says that this is supposed to be an approachable fantasy, right? Like that's
not
like,
anymore.
It was in book 1.
I think this is so fucking convoluted.
Yes.
I think this is like so wide. Like when I think about an approachable fantasy, I think of Legends and Lattes.
Yeah.
I think of like cozy fantasy. I think of even ACOTAR, right?
ACOTAR.
I think of books that like
they're on that like
a little bit
YA
easier
line.
Just like a little bit easier storyline and like not as like convoluted.
Yeah.
This is like giving high fantasy. It's starting to give the aspects of high fantasy without it being
writing.
high fantasy. Without it
Yeah.
actually having the
That's a good point.
Like it's like I feel like this series is built on fucking stilts.
Yeah.
And it's
wobbly.
Well, when you were saying
down.
all that stuff about this rider above the sage, whatever, I'm thinking like Game of Thrones in my head. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, the Night King.
The Night King.
There's
And then-
too many similar like namings of things that are like
But it's
okay,
not
I
written
think of
well enough
sages
for
of,
me to
like,
get it.
It just there's a lot of like the Wyvern, like I think of other things for that, like that's Tog, like
Yeah.
I don't know, there's just like a lot of stuff going on there. To me, I think this book is sloppy, it's unapproachable, I think it's underdeveloped and it's not creative. And that is the hottest fucking take I could throw at you, but I don't think that there's anything about this book that is approachable.
I think it was too fast coming out after the first one.
Yes.
When we read the first one,
I enjoyed the first one.
I really did too.
This has ruined it for me, though.
So I gave this a 4.
Wow.
But I know. But I think it's because I reached a point around 70% where I was enjoying it more.
Okay.
I was enjoying it. At that point, we were going out in the world. We were fighting things. We were like learning all the stuff that I wanted to learn. The first 70% was just fighting with Xaden over and over again, and the Chuck and Blair thing.
Yeah.
Which I love Chuck and Blair, but
But
I don't like it like that.
We never had a sense of them falling in love because their entire romance from the first book was all turmoil too.
Mm-hmm.
So we've never gotten nice.
And we find out that like
romance from
there was
them.
a pact between, not a pact, but like an agreement between Xaden and Violet's mother that put Xaden in her path from the start. So then Violet's like, well, did you actually ever care about me? Like what is real in here? What's not? Which I think it's a valid conversation to have, but the way it was done, I don't know, it felt just like lust, not love.
Yeah.
for
It's
me.
they've never had an like that type of intellectual like connection. Like they've never had a good conversation. They've never had like anything. They've had spicy sex and they've had like really angry fighting.
That's a good point.
And that's it. There hasn't been anything else. So to me, it's just a lot of emotions and not a lot of like actual romance. Again,
But I don't know if it's the environment also they're in that's not conducive to a good relationship because they're about to die
I just
every day.
like again, I just don't think it's executed well. I don't like I don't think the plot's bad. I just think the execution of all this, like, it doesn't give me answers. It gives me questions. And
Yeah,
that
I'm just confused.
type of book is not great. Like,
That's really it. I'm just fucking
Yeah,
confused.
I
I'm
had a lot of
confused,
questions.
and I
felt like
don't-
there was just a lot of
I'm
information
leaving-
thrown at me.
That's
yeah,
why I
I'm
liked-
leaving the book with more questions than answers.
yeah.
And I'm in book 2 of this. I feel like I'm in book 4
Yeah.
because of how much information we got this book.
Mhm.
And
Her pacing is not good.
the pacing's all over the place. She's supposed to probably get another signet too.
Yep.
So
Signet,
the big
not siphon, signet. That's
so
what
the
I'm
big question is like what her second signet, what Violet's second signet is.
Here's the thing though,
And
like,
there's a lot of theory behind what it could be.
yeah. I just
And-
don't care because at the end of
Well,
the
yeah,
at
yeah.
the end of the first book, I didn't get confused until the end when like I was like, this makes no sense for all of
rebel
the
stuff.
reason, but it got cut off.
Yep.
Right. So I was like, okay,
Cliffhanger.
I'm done. I liked this. It's over. So when I started book 2 and they go back to school, I was so angry.
Well, it's kind
that-
of like when Harry Potter, when they go back to school too, you're kind of like, why are you
when
when
Every
they go
book?
back? No, when they
well,
go
they're
back
in-
after
they're
the fifth
fighting
one.
something happening in school. Yeah, but there's like actual genuine reasons. Like he's still building an army. Like she's just
wait,
going
no.
back to keep secrets.
Yeah,
it made
when they
no
go back
sense.
to the. Is it the fifth one when they go back to school?
Yeah,
You're kind
he's
of like-
literally building an army and like trying to get.
Order of Phoenix, yeah.
Yeah, like it's a whole different. Like she's going back to school to just be secretive and be in school.
And still graduate.
And
She
maybe
still has
get
to graduate.
information. I'll give you
Yeah.
that. Like she wants to get information, but it's like at that point, I feel like
I don't know why she's back. I don't know why.
So
But and
just
again,
bothered
like
me.
why was there never a discussion of like maybe I shouldn't go back to school?
yeah, it was so brief.
But her
Like
mother's
she
a
didn't get to make the
general.
decision. She was like they were basically made the decision for her.
I don't.
But either
what would
way-
happen if you defect?
Either way, it took me so
Do you
out of
die?
it that it made me question everything. And when I wasn't getting the answers, I blanked out and I was like, I'm done with this series. So I'm
I
not
was-
going to read any
I
more
was
of these.
bored. I was bored the first 70%, and then
Yeah.
towards the end, I think the battle scenes are fun.
I think
do-
she
I
writes. I
think-
think she writes action very
Action
very
Yeah.
was
well.
very
I agree.
good in the end. Like I think I could visualize it. That's one thing I can do with this book. I can visualize the scenes really well.
understand why people like it.
But
Somebody compared it to How to Train Your Dragon when the Shadow Dragon came and it was
Yeah.
like gray and like stuff. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
there's another one you pull from.
But I get it because it gives you enough stuff to start theorizing. There's like a lot of information.
Mhm.
There's a lot of theory. There's a lot of like, well, this could happen. Well, this could happen. Oh, well, she said this at the top of this. All of the
There's a
all of
difference,
the
though, between
chapter
that
starts
and
have,
not
like,
making
the,
sense.
Like old. What I don't understand is actually like the way this book is written. So, from my understanding, this perspective like is actually like what's her face writing it?
the
The
scribe.
scribed. It's like her.
Wait, what? Really?
Her scribe, like her scribe.
She's telling the
She's
story.
scribing.
Oh, I didn't know
like,
that.
The history
Book 1
of-
too?
There's a lot of parts of like
Where it
where
seems like
passages
Yeah,
as
yeah.
translated by
Yeah.
Jasenia.
Yeah, but those are
Jasenia.
like short.
Yeah, but we think that Jasenia is writing this, and then people are actually like dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
like this is a history,
As
a
a
historical
history.
thing.
So
Oh,
like
that makes
there-
sense.
again, like I think it's like there's some cool stuff, right? So the big theory is Violent's second signet, and there's a couple different options. So one of them is amplifying other people's powers, because
Okay.
she's done that a couple times.
Okay.
Talking to the dead,
I saw
Seeing
that
Liam.
thing.
seeing the future.
Okay. I do think her dreams were real, not
Um,
dreams.
Hmm.
Because she saw, because in Darna saw her being a writer before she was. So
Which was weird to me. Yeah. She's
Whatever.
in her egg. She was
Yeah.
in an egg for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And she knew there was going to be a writer for her,
Yeah.
which is going to be Violet.
So in Darna being a chameleon, maybe
I thought chameleon.
maybe Violet is also a chameleon and kind of can take on.
I thought she could
So
take
there's
on other people's
another
powers.
there's another one which I think is a really really smart one, is that her signet is being able to utilize what she needs at the time.
Yep. Almost like the room of
So like
requirements.
she needed, yes. Again, it just all comes back to the same fucking shit. She needed to talk to Liam. She got to talk
She
to
got
Liam.
Liam's
She needed to
ghost.
see this. She got this. She needed to siphon. She needed to give what's her face a power boost. She gave her a power. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that actually is the best working theory. And I think it's interesting that she has 2 riders. So maybe both
Two
of
dragons.
her, 2 dragons. So maybe there's something there too. I don't know. But again, I think there's a lot of ground for theory to.
Yeah, because we don't have
start
answers.
Be grooming. I hate to say, I just don't fucking like this book.
Yeah,
I don't like
I
the
didn't like.
series.
I didn't like this book either.
Okay.
Well, I didn't read it. Hence why I didn't like
Again,
I don't
I
like
gave
the
it. I
series.
gave it 4, but I think it's like that thing we were talking about Sarah J. Maas. It's that vibe at the end,
it. Yeah.
and
Where you leave on a high.
you on a
Yeah.
high.
Yeah.
The action scenes were so good.
Yep.
The mother dying was like, it hit me. Like,
Yeah.
it was.
How do
I
you
thought
not-
it was well written. When you make me
Yeah.
cry, like I have to. I mean, hello.
Yeah.
Everything makes me cry these days, so I guess it's fine.
No, I hear you.
But yeah, in the end with Zayden being Venom, like I thought, like, oh,
Zayden. Yeah.
sorry. not
I'm gonna
Zayden,
keep
Zayden.
reading. I'm gonna keep reading
I
the
am not.
series, but mainly just so that I keep with the status quo.
We could do the next book, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna read.
I hope it takes another year. I don't want it in 6 months.
Oh, is it like? Is there anything
Yeah.
in
There's
the
no
works?
date right now.
Okay, good.
No date right now.
Good.
The rumor
And
was
she said
December
she-
2024.
To this year? That's crazy.
That's a rumor. I saw like on a random thing.
No.
It's a rumor.
Yeah, that would be insane.
She said in interviews, she's like, I can't do
She needs to
this.
call up George R.R. Martin and be like, "Yo, I could teach you how to write these really fast."
George R. R. Martin, no. Stephen King.
Stephen King.
George can't. George hasn't written nothing.
No, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. She needs to give him some advice on how to write these,
Oh.
pump these
The
out.
other way. I thought you were saying like asking him for advice, like, hey, how do I write fast?
No,
Like,
no.
He should tell
I
you
know-
how to,
I
not
know. How to
write
fast.
slower.
The problem is I know a lot of people like love this book, like Heidi, or love this series.
A lot of people in our Discord love
A
it.
lot of people
Yeah.
really,
Same
really
with
like
Crush
Did
it.
It.
anybody hate it or no? God damn it. I'm so sorry,
Really?
y'all.
I feel like a lot of our people.
These
on
are our
Discord
friends,
liked it.
our people, and they're well, Maria, you liked it, so
I liked
Yeah.
parts of it.
So
but
there you
this
go.
is this is different than
I know
my
it's gonna
usual.
sound like I didn't. I know it sounds like I didn't. 'Cause
No,
I'm
I
bitching.
believe
This,
you.
But
this is different than my usual. Like, I don't understand why people like it. Book. I get why people like
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
I understand the like.
And I think
don't like it.
I think that's where it's different. Yeah, I agree.
I can see
Yeah.
how people like
And I'm not
this.
gonna give people shit for liking it, like
And
some people on the
I-
internet do.
I'm not like
Some of the YouTube videos were brutal about like only like teenage fucking TikTok girls, and it's like that's not true at all. I know a
no.
lot
I
of
think people.
yeah, people are like
wait.
Are
Go
brutal
back.
about
Go
it.
back.
people on YouTube are like posting. I mean, people who only read big books with like
Sure. What are
super
they
high
saying?
fantasy. That the only people reading these books are like TikTok girls who don't know anything about reading. Essentially, yeah, people are saying this type of shit. Because you know why? It got really popular. And when things get really popular, everybody has shit to say about it.
So Rebecca Yarros didn't know that this would get popular because she's not like prior to this, like her books were 5,000 reviews. Like she was a popular, no, but not like not like a Colleen Hoover or a even
Right.
you know what I mean, Lucy Score. Like she was getting like 5,000 to 10,000 reviews on her books, which is not that like high.
Not compared to
it's
what
on
it
the
is
higher
now.
end of
Yeah.
indie, but not like crazy, right?
I know. All right, Iron Flame. That's really leave
Is
us
that
some
it?
comments.
Is that? Do we have
That's
anything
it.
else?
That's
I
it.
This was off the rails. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
No, I'm sorry.
It's what you expect.
Is it? Because the people are coming in here who don't know us.
I know we're getting a lot of comments about getting things wrong, but again, I told you, at least for like
Well, we
books like this,
corrected our-
books like this, I would say, like our first one, Fourth Wing. I think we got a few but they weren't mean. So
No, they're always constructive.
yeah, I love that. That's a good word. All right, whatever this book is called.
Iron Flame.
Can you please let us know what you thought? Did you enjoy it? Do you think that she's biting off more than she can chew? Are you looking for answers like we are? Are you excited for book 3? Do you hope she takes her time? There's so many things we want to know. So let us know. Heidi, thank you so much for helping
Thanks
us
so
out
much, Heidi.
on this one. And everybody else in our Discord, we really appreciate you. If you want to join our Discord, go to Instagram, look up books_and_betches, BETCHES. Click the link tree. Our Discord's right in there. Or you could subscribe. And you could subscribe to us on YouTube. Just look up Books and Betches. You'll be able to see the absolute distraught look on all of our faces. We love you
Yeah.
so much. and,
I'm not okay.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.